wait for it, we are not live yet, but we may in fact now be live, and we are now live. So hello everyone, and welcome to the Geek Battle show here on the Improv Xstreamed YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Battle YouTube channel, and a bunch of other channels. It's very exciting to see how many different things we are in fact on. But most important error, that isn't what you want to read. It's not what you want to read, guys. But the most important thing we need to do, today's show, we're going to be speaking about some of the things that I'm sure we saw over the festive period. We'll stay off spoilers if anything is absolutely too precious not to be spoken about. But I've certainly seen Squid Game, I've certainly seen a lot of Doctor Who, and I've certainly seen a lot of different kinds of other things. We'll find out all about this and so much more after the intro.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel. The cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream. Nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Dev's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Riders. Email Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Marvel, and Disney will wink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6. Everyone watch out, some shit is sick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Doc Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo. But in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Right, so, hello everyone, welcome to the show. Now, I was just saying to the guys before we started, I'm running the shows for the first time this week, starting actually with Slam Jam yesterday, from a new laptop. I have a new laptop, I'm possibly sending it back. But there's various reasons for this, the most important of which, I'll see if any of you guys want to touch on at all. They have just announced the Consumer Electronics Show. We are no longer in the realm of NVIDIA RTX 4090. We have heard of the 5090, and it only costs $2,000. So, I'm expecting other ones to drop in price within the next week or two, so I might be sending this shizzle back to Amazon. So, but with this, we'll say hello to the people, we can discuss any of that. Cap, I know you are into your PC gaming, say hello to the people.
Hail from the Geektonians. I'm from the land of leopards, elephants, and crocodiles. It's me, Capital Dave, and yeah, I can fully say that Witcher 4 is not going to run on my laptop, but I'm against Witcher 4 anyways, because I don't like the new changes that they did, but it probably is not going to work on my laptop anyways. My geek fact for today is that in the Superman, the animated series in the 90s, you know, the famous Kryptonians, Neo before Zod and all that guys, they actually didn't use them in the Superman the Animated Show. Instead, we had another Kryptonians called Jax I think, and the other one is like Mala. They're basically Zod and his sidekick buddy, but like for some reason they didn't use Zod. They went with Jax and Mala. And again, they would get trapped in the Phantom Zone. But I don't know why they didn't use Zod.
Well, I can't tell you the exact reason, but what I can tell you, and this may go before any of your time, I'm not sure how old you are, but the Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, if you watch that show, by the time I think it got to its last season, it introduced basically General Zod, but it was Lord Nor. And yeah.
But why?
General Zod, but
Lord Nor.
Lois and
But why?
Clark.
Why?
Lord Nor. Yeah, Nor. What a boring. I'll look out actually, because it might probably going to turn out to be played by someone really famous or something. But Lord Nor. Let's bring this on screen so you guys can indulge. He was a recurring villain of the series. He was the general of a large Kryptonian army who hated Superman and wanted to take full control over New Krypton and Earth, as he renamed it. New Krypton. Oh my god, that's such shitty writing. New Krypton.
I shall name this planet New Krypton.
Yeah, let's see.
I mean, like David, like even Man of Steel Zod was like basically that's his plan. Like, I'm going to turn Earth into Krypton. Are you an idiot? You don't have powers on Krypton. Just stay on Earth as it is.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. But yeah, it
But
says here.
for that,
He's
but
based
for
on
that,
the
David,
character
my
General
friend.
Zod.
But David, one of my friends, who's a hardcore Man of Steel fan, gave me the counter argument when I said Zod was stupid. He said, like, you forget, Zod is a nationalist. He's bred by Krypton to be Krypton's best warrior, so he's going to do what's in best of Krypton's interest, even though that is not going to be beneficial for him. He's just like bred that way. And I was like, I see your point.
But you know what? In Superman 2, like the good Superman with Christopher Reeve, and the good General Zod, like Krypton is gone. I don't. Other than he just wants to rule Earth. I don't think he's trying to make it Krypton. I think they were chill just with ruling people. In fact, there was a bit where, like, they're in the White House, and he's like, "I've conquered everything now," and he's like, he was done. He was bored. He was bored. Anyway, Cap, you definitely get a bonus point there. But Dev, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. And my geeky fact relates to hot sauce. Because I nearly poisoned myself with it just now. Basically, on the show Hot Ones, the number 8 sauce, the bomb, is actually the spiciest sauce.
Yep.
Even though it's not the last one.
Yeah.
Because instead of using a diluted version, they're using extract itself for that sauce.
Okay, so wait, what were you talking about?
It's Hot Ones. It's Hot Ones, the YouTube show.
Hot sauce. Okay, well.
How we should all take a shot of Da Bomb before we do a Geek Battle show next time.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't know, like, I'm feeling generous. It's the first show of 2025. You can have a bonus point. Dave, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people, I am Dave MC, and my geek fact is, again, of course, Doctor Who. So when they did the second... Yeah, I know, Cap, calm it down. So I'll give you a Resident Evil fact next time. So when they did the second Dalek serial in the 1960s, they had trouble with the little Daleks, as the wheels that they had were little ball casters to go around the studio. And for the second serial, they were on the streets of London at 5:30 in the morning, where there was no traffic and no people around. So what they did was they expanded the base of the Dalek and put in little tricycles so that they were able to move around the streets of London, over near Parliament Bridge, near Trafalgar Square. You know, all these landmarks in London, they were all tricycles where they were moving around.
Wow, that is cool. That is definitely worth a bonus point there. And I know.
I love the fact that I love the fact that like the British conquered most of the known world, and what they get conquered by is basically tricycles and just a little bomb on top of it.
Guys, I hang on. Sorry, guys. I forgot we were back on like StreamYard and all that. I didn't give you any of your entrance videos. I think we're past it now. We're past it. We'll use them as outro videos. I need to.
As Dev has a new one, if so, we need to really like to see it.
Look, Dev's one will be there like next week.
Okay.
I've literally had to. I haven't had to build this PC. That would be a complete lie. But I've had to plug it in, and that's been an ordeal.
But the thing is, David, Dev has already seen it, even though you haven't made it.
Yeah. Okay. So, good. Now, guys, no one may be interested at all, but what is your reaction? Because apparently it is big news. I'll bring it up here. The NVIDIA RTX 5000 series, or 50 series, I read it. So look at this. The 5090 is $1,999. Whereas my one, I got like the one that was like one out of date as it was. It was like 3080, and now they're on 5080. So mine feels horribly outdated. But
I've been seeing videos that, like, even though the prices are they're not really good ones, the FPS is kind of low. There's been like loads of videos going around that, like, yeah, the price scratch is not worth it at all because like they were that worth the money. That's the actual worth of their product, and we've been scammed by buying it before.
well, yeah, like it's the weird thing. There's a good website for like doing benchmark tests of like what games your PC can run.
Mhm.
Mine got a score of 99% yesterday. And I was like, well, why do I need to replace this then? And apparently, I did it a couple of weeks ago as well. And it said that my laptop could run 987 out of the top 1,000 current PC games at recommended settings. When I checked it yesterday, it had gone down to 986. So if every 2 weeks I lose the potential of running a game, I'm slightly worried.
The weird so this might be an old fact, like I know that Linus does like benchmark things with like video games with like very, very large games. And some of the ridiculous GPUs, the computer doesn't actually use all the space anyways. The weird thing is, like, most of the powerful GPUs that we have are usually used for rendering and some of the supercomputing, that stuff like that. It's like, because like games can't use all that bandwidth anyways. But for some reason, games say, "Oh, you need a more powerful one. We just can't run this." Either is the game optimization is shit. It's like the game developers really don't know how to optimize for devices, or they have a secret deal with the GPU company. Say, "Hey, just make this run on this, even though it doesn't need to."
Yeah. Okay, one sec. Yeah, I agree. I've just realised I'm streaming to the wrong channel. That would be why this isn't working. On the Geek Battle
StreamYard!
Oh, good. We can do the intros. If you're watching this on the Geek Battle gaming channel, I'm gonna end it here. And hold on, you can see what's going on the screen here, guys. How do I switch this off? I don't want you to see all the business. Right. Okay. So let's take it off this. 1 second, guys. Boom. Yeah. Remove it from that. Okay. And let's add it to this. It's been a tough year.
Dude, what are you doing? At least on the other channel we can get viewers.
Yeah, I know, but we're back. So, hello everyone.
What's that app? What was that app used for?
Credits. Right. Okay. Let's.
No!
Right. Okay. Oh, wait a second. No, I'm joking. He's not here.
Oh.
But, right. Let's go on to whatever else you guys want to speak about. Yeah, I might send this laptop flying back. Apparently it can do all the stuff, but I'll tell you the weird glitch with it. I'd switch it on, and it would just be a black screen. And I ended up speaking to their tech support, and they were like, "Do you have things plugged into it?" I was like, "Well, a couple. I've got like 7 monitors and like 9 hard drives." And so when I unplug it, it's just like so simple. I unplug it, switch it on, it works, and then as soon as it's on, I plug it back in. Problem solved. But I shouldn't pay a lot of money to have to do anything. At this stage of my life, I just want everything to be automatic. Right, so, what have you guys, give me some hot takes. Cap, what's on your mind?
Okay, I've been watching Creature Commandos, approved the butt shots, but like, the thing is, like, it's a good show, but there's one episode really depressed the fuck me out. It's a story about like the Frankenstein story, and I don't know why. I mean, like, I'm not saying that like DC story is not very dark. Like the Justice League show was, even though it was a kids show, it had really like very tragic elements to it. but I didn't look at it and go, oh, why the hell did I watch this? I didn't need this today. Like, Kid Me never had that problem. But I saw this episode of like Frankenstein, and it's basically an old lady taking care of him after he got hurt. And it feels like he's actually showing his good side and everything, even though, again, it's like the Suicide Squad, so like no one is a good guy anyways. And he ends up murdering her, and then taking her dog.
Oh,
And I
spoiler
was like,
warning.
what the?
Right, okay,
It's like,
don't
what
worry.
the?
Thanks, Cap. Right. And in
I'm saying you don't
and in
need to watch
episode
this.
8, this happens. Right. No.
Yeah, so
It sounds
that really did, draw me back. So like, why are you putting in this in a cartoon? I mean, like, I'm angry that Disney Mufasa is a wussy movie, that we don't get to see any cool lion fights. But like in this, I have the opposite problem. It's just like too much. Bring it back.
Yeah. Okay, look, one thing which I know, this is, I guess, a spoiler for Creature Commandos. You guys have probably already seen it. But they have shown off Batman. This is the first look at the DCU Batman in Creature
Gutty
Commandos.
Batman.
And
Batman
so-
with a gun.
Oh.
He's back.
He is a
back.
tank. Now,
You know
He is.
what?
He is. He's like Arkham. The Arkham games jacked up Batman.
No, David, that's not jacked up.
Returns.
That's gutted up. He's big in the gut.
big up Batman. Now, I do know a bit of but go on, Dev.
James Gunn, like I read somewhere online that James Gunn said he was based on Alan Ritchson from Reacher.
Yeah, he doesn't have a gut. He has muscles. That looks like a gut.
Well,
That's my
apparently,
problem.
something I read from James Gunn was that they haven't made up their mind the direction they're going with Batman yet. So they told them to put it more in silhouette. But when they first were doing this, it wasn't. But then the other revelation, if it's true, that came out was that Creature Commandos, as it was being written, was still part of the DCEU. That was already greenlit, and it was still going to have Henry Cavill and Batfleck and all this stuff. So that probably is still Batfleck, but they've just put into more shadow.
So wait, you've got all these comics, all these games, all these stories related to Batman, and they cannot think of a single thing to do with him.
Who said that?
Well, you just said James Gunn was like, that we don't know what to do with Batman.
No. Okay, well, no, this will bring
You
me
don't
on
know
to
the
a
cast.
slightly bigger point. I read yesterday that apparently Matt Reeves has said that there is still a chance that Pattinson could end up as the DCU Batman. They might intertwine these worlds. Because obviously they've got the shit show that, is the legacy of not having a complete clean break from what came before and saying it's a reboot of all of these tendrils coming through from what was from yesteryear still existing, the main thing of which was the Batman.
Jason,
and they're like,
Jason.
well, that's Elseworlds, we're going to have our own Batman, and apparently the Batman 2 won't come out until 2027 or 2028, but a year before that, the DCU Batman film is going to come out.
What?
So, yeah, I think it's 2027.
That's going to confuse the shit out of people.
Well, so that's why they're saying, there is some talk saying, look, the Batman was well received. People liked the Penguin. We need to keep going with something that's working. Shall we just say that that's Batman, and then we've got Batman sorted? But go on, Dev.
Okay, so do you remember in 1996 where there was literally a rule where Batman can only appear on one show, and then
No, I was too busy eating grass at that point in 1996.
okay, so in the
I was not
animated
born yet.
when they were doing the animated series, there was literally a rule of Batman could only appear in the Batman show until the Batman show was over.
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
No,
but I
he
knew,
did appear in the Superman the animated series, didn't he? There, like, was it
As
they
a
were running
movie,
through
that was
it?
part of the movie. So it
I
doesn't-
know
yeah.
with Batman that when they did, what was it? Birds of Prey
Justice
as a
League.
TV show. They wouldn't
Yeah.
allow Batman to appear in that. I think wasn't the idea that Smallville was originally going to be a Batman show, and they were
Yes.
like, we're doing something else with Batman soon. So they ended up making it a Superman origin show instead. And
the
then,
best part-
and then literally, when they did Gotham, they were like, you can do a Commissioner Gordon series, but not a Batman series. So it rings true.
And like originally, like in the early seasons, Clark actually had a friend called Wayne Knight, who was who was a billionaire.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But like,
Wayne
flash
Knight.
forward to last year, where we had like 5 Batman at the same time.
Yeah. I know. Well,
We had
it was
Michael
crazy.
Keaton, Ben Affleck, Dietrich Bader,
Who's that?
and the animated one.
Oh, okay.
But
Kevin Conroy, the other animated one.
Yeah.
Like Robert Pattinson,
Well,
and
look, in the
Jensen
Flash
Ackles.
movie, they literally had 4 different Batmen if you count the Adam West cameo. It ended with George Clooney. It had Batflick in the beginning. It had Michael Keaton in it as well. And
Yeah.
Did I say 4? No, well, and
Yeah.
maybe another one. I forget. So yeah, so Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, George Clooney, and Adam West, all in the same movie, at the same time that Pattinson was a thing, at the same time that Joker, the first Joker movie, had a different actor playing young Bruce Wayne. It was like there was 5 different active live action Batmen at that time.
And don't forget as well, like it was the end of Gotham, so David Mazouz was also Batman.
Oh God, no! I can't think of that bat suit and that face. That was horrible.
I need to look it up. I know I've seen it, but I can't remember it.
It looked
It was
shite.
bad.
It looked so bad.
Batman suit. Ugh. It is bad. Right, let's see if I can bring up.
No, don't bring it up.
No, I
no,
have
he didn't see it. He didn't
Do not
see it.
curse my eyes with this image.
to. This. Oh my god, they actually made this and put it on television. That is.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
What is wrong with it? There is something wrong with it, but like
It's not that bad.
that bit I don't mind. But there is something wrong with the face.
It's
Zoom
very
in,
wrong
Dave.
with the face. It's the face that does it for me.
Zoom in, Dave.
I don't know if
David.
I can. I don't know if I can. Hang on. Is that him? Who's that?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's him. That's him.
Okay, but that is obviously where he's not quite evolved yet.
Okay. Yeah. And in the last episode, he's that.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
I can zoom
this-
in anymore. Let's see if I can.
Geek Batman!
No,
the
see,
one
it starts
still
getting
wears
smaller.
rubber.
Do you know what? I was saying this, I can't remember to who, like a day or two ago. I get that each time they do, like, when I watched The Batman recently, and I would say the costume in that, I like it's a nice idea, well, I'm going to make the guns into the bat symbol, right? There's some logic to, the meaning of that. Otherwise, the costume is shit. And when you look at David Corenswet, the Superman costume is shit. You don't need to make it different just so that it's like, well, it's a new version. Why? Just, like,
No, you can make a new version, just don't look it like it sucks.
Dean Cain's Superman costume was essentially exactly the same as Christopher Reeves. So just do, it's like, this is the Superman costume. This is the Batman costume. Go on, Cap.
Okay, several things. Even though, like I said, you guys have been saying, like James Sam having a hard time like changing things up. The one thing he clearly fully destroyed is the DC animated series. Like he destroyed all the animated work that has come before. He basically ended the DC animated universe.
And sort of. He ended the movies, but the TV show's still going on.
Yeah, that may be a weird thing, but like they ended the Justice Ultimate, the New 52. They're all gone. Like no, they're dead. Okay.
That was a pre-gun decision, by the way. They wanted
Oh,
to
that was
restart
a pre-gun
again.
decision. Okay, but like now you do still have like Jason Momoa as well, which I think is the best casting. By the way, I think Jason Momoa's personality is like
See,
full on Lobo.
the-
He was never meant to be like Aquaman. But guessing you're getting Jason Momoa back, why didn't you do that with Henry Cavill? Like I can't see the budget thing anymore. I always thought it was the budget, but I revoked the name. But in any case.
I don't have anything
But
to
any-
show you. Right. Oh,
But-
1 second.
But in any case, right, you can bring Jason Momoa, who I think is probably the same bill as Henry Cavill. You could have brought Henry Cavill. So, like, I don't think James Gunn is winning any favors. Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
And he's gone now.
Yes. Right. Okay, Dev.
The reason they brought Jason Momoa and not Henry Cavill is because, first of all, James, like Lobo is to Jason Momoa is what Deadpool is to Ryan Reynolds. It's literally it's his favorite character and who he like bases his personality off, basically.
I would say Henry Cavill's basically Superman. Like he's the
See,
the
like,
face that everyone now
I get
knows
what you're
as
going for,
Superman.
but like, so Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool, and it was like a bad version. And then they were like, well, he's going to play it again, and clearly it was two separate characters, but it was proper Deadpool now. Jason Momoa was Aquaman, and the second one was shit.
No, but like what I mean is no, because basically personality-wise, as in, like Ryan Reynolds acts like Deadpool in real life.
Yeah, and
Jason Momoa acts like Lobo.
Roman Reigns. So.
Also, the issue with not having Cavill is not the money. The money was never the issue. The issue is James Gunn doesn't want Cavill to correct him, and he will.
Maybe. I don't think it comes down to James Gunn though. I think whoever's in charge of DC, they hate Henry Cavill, they hate Zack Snyder, they hate the guy who played Cyborg. They had all these issues with loads of them. They had issues with Gal Gadot at like a couple of points as well. And they were like, screw all of it. Like, Batfleck quit as well. You know, they probably tried to get him back. They were like, the only one who didn't, like, look what happened with Ezra Miller. They were like, do you know what, Jason? You're the only one who didn't piss us off in some tremendous way.
And that guy came out to be an Oscar. No, like, the point is, Dave, like, he's the only one who had no problem with Warner Brothers, and he's the most terrible person there is. So apparently, the problem is not the other people.
Why is Momoa a terrible person?
No,
Yes,
not
enlighten
Jason
us,
Momoa.
Kat.
I say Ezra Miller. I'm talking about Ezra Miller.
Okay, yeah.
Not Jason. Jason
I'm telling you, Ezra Miller has some dirt on like a higher exec.
Could be. Could be that.
Like you cannot start a cult while you cannot promote a movie while starting a cult, like running away, like terrorizing a whole country, and
What if Ezra
having a
Miller
shootout with
behind
the
the whole
police?
No, like Dev, what if,
Speaking
like,
of which,
I don't think he had a shoot. Did he have a shootout? I know he was arrested.
He was in a cabin being surrounded by police, and he had a gun in the cabin.
Wow, I love it.
Now, like, what if what if Ezra Miller's cult is one that like running the DCU? Like he's the one who's like pulling the strings.
Fun fact.
Like,
I keep joking that's Leto's fault for the one running it. Because Jared Leto also has one, but then they're peaceful. Okay, so
speaking of, I would like to promote the cult of MCology. All hail Lord Stephen the Duck.
fun fact, during the first lockdown, Jared Leto was unaware because him and his group were off on a deserted island somewhere.
Wow.
And they came back to lockdown.
Shit, that is like literally, that could be a movie. That is like 28 days later, waking up out of the closet. It's like, where is everyone? They just like go into like the city centre and it's everyone like no one's about. And they like see people coming out all in masks and stuff.
He has toilet paper in his hand. It's just he's
Like
bribing
hand
people,
gel.
going, he's got toilet paper.
Okay, but who would be
Why are
Jared
they
Leto?
squirting at us? It's like, no, it's just antibacterial. Oh my god.
Who would play Jared Leto?
Jared Leto would play Jared Leto. He's already an actor, he doesn't need someone to play him.
Joe Courtney. Joe Courtney playing Jared Leto.
Boy.
Yeah.
Is that Tom Hardy play Jared? No, have Tom Hardy play Ezra Miller, and Jared Leto played by Guy Courtney.
What is happening right now?
God knows.
But you know what's feel like currently? One of the famous directors now is working for VB because I know that Christopher Nolan's out with what's that movie Tenet, where they like released it on streaming and he was like "fuck you" and he left. He wasn't going to work with Warner Brothers now. And I know that Snyder's out. Like, what sort of directors do they have? Like Warner Brothers, like.
Do they even have money?
Do you know what they're about to have the Harry Potter like 10-year TV show thing, so they'll be fine. They've still got.
No, they've already had that, haven't they? They already came out, didn't they?
I don't think
No.
that's
You
going to
think
be
the Harry
like that
Potter
much of a.
TV show has
I
come
have
out?
No, not the TV show. It's the anniversary thing.
Yeah, but who cares about that? They're doing a whole reboot that's going to give them 10 years of absolute bang for their buck. So Warner
I
Brothers
will
be
see
fine.
it when it hits
Yeah.
10 years because, like, I don't have that much confidence in the show would go for like 10 years. I just don't.
David, you say bang for their buck.
Yeah.
But ask Amazon about those Rings of Power.
Do you know,
Yeah.
but here's the thing, like the difference is, like, any controversies aside over J.K. Rowling, she is making sure that they're not spoiling it, whereas J.R. Tolkien was like 60 years dead, where they're like, oh, perhaps we can just put Gandalf in the wrong age and stuff like this, you know. So she won't allow them to destroy something that big because, like, I remember.
Is she involved in the development of the show? We're not sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
She
she's very
is
involved.
slightly involved.
No, I think she's very involved, right? And with like even the original movies, I think she said that because originally they were like, Steven Spielberg, will you direct Harry Potter? And he wanted to like cast the kid from like AI or whatever that movie was, Haley Joel Osment as Harry Potter, and she was just like, no, Harry Potter is English. And so then like Steven Spielberg was like, if I can't cast it my way, and he didn't do it. And then kind of the rest is history. And so she was like, the actors who play the parts have to be the same, from the same country as the characters are in the book. And she told them, because the books weren't even all out yet, she was like, I'm not going to give you massive spoilers, but I gave them some insight. She wasn't there the thing that she told Alan Rickman?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she's going to really probably make sure it continues to fit the vision. And
I think maybe the only difference I think between like Rings of Power and that is that they may go into a bit more detail in the book with like they've got a series to go over details that the films couldn't cover in like 2 hours or an hour and a half, however long the films were.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to go over chapters that of course were not in the book. Like maybe they'll put in Goblet of Fire, they'll change out Neville giving Harry the Gillyweed to actually having Dobby be the one who gave Harry the Gillyweed.
That pissed me off so much that it's like, oh, we're going to bring in Dobby to die at the end of film 7 part 1, right? It's like, we haven't seen him since the second movie. This isn't the ending of like your penultimate movie. No one cares anymore. We don't
Exactly.
know the character.
I mean, I just don't want, like, the problem with Dobby, right? Dobby's great, and it's really sad when he died. But remember, in the third film, he was like a complete annoyance. The reason why he didn't...
That's why.
Second film only.
Yeah. The reason why he didn't turn into Jar Jar Binks because his screen time was very low. That I feel like he would have turned into Jar Jar Binks if you had him so much more.
I don't think so. I really don't think
No.
so. Because, like, so Jar Jar Binks was, like, 1999, Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
By the time they got to, like, 2002, we were getting Gollum and Dobby in the same year. And Cap, you were, like, 3 years old. I was there.
Yeah.
I remember this.
I
Both
remember
of those
too.
characters,
You could have gone as a
it was, like,
3-year-old.
revolutionary thing. We suddenly had 2 goblin little troll characters in the same year that stole the show.
Yeah.
They-
Yeah, but, like,
I can't
David, like,
say that.
But David, like, as a 3-year-old, I never looked at Dobby and Gollum and go, I love them so much. I never said
You're probably the same as me when I was that age. Kind of like, oh, dirt! Let me eat that.
Oh, Dev.
like if I see like Spider-Man or like Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, oh yeah, they're great. But when I say Gollum and Dobby, I go, ugh. This was my reaction.
No, everyone loved Gollum, everyone loved Dobby, like, those characters works back then, but obviously then, what is it, Winky? What was the girl that they cut out
Yeah,
of the
well-
movies. Right.
Which one?
Winky,
Like,
that
can you be a bit
had
more
himself
specific?
that they cut out that was meant to be because they did have Creature,
Yeah.
but there is
Dobby's
another-
girlfriend.
Yeah,
Was it Winky?
Winky.
In the kitchens, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Girl, house elf. Let's see. Yeah, Winky.
Because I only read. Yeah.
She Dobby with the bow.
Yeah, and so they'll bring in all of these characters. Go on, Dev, go for it.
So, first of all, I have to point out one thing. In Lord of the Rings, I was a royalty. In Harry Potter, they're slaves.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, speaking of like cute mascot creatures and stuff, my big question for the podcast that I like teased earlier in the chat was, what would happen if minions fought the gremlins?
If minions fought gremlins.
Oh,
Yes.
Aren't the
Gremlins
minions
would win, mate. Gremlins would win, mate.
Aren't the minions indestructible?
Yeah, they're indestructible. You can't die.
Yeah. So like even if the gremlins eat them, they'll be in the stomach, or they will call them Big Boss, and they'll
Wait,
start
so
working
hang
for
on,
the
so
gremlins, and
you
inevitably
mean
the
Gremlins
goblins
is
will
in
die
Gizmo?
because they start working for them.
Huh?
Do you mean
So they-
gremlins is in Gizmo?
Yes.
Like, well, yeah, the gremlins would lose. Like, that they have like major flaws. They don't have intelligence, and if they get sunlight or water, these are like their weaknesses. There you go.
Oh,
Don't
I would like
Okay,
to
so
remind. There's a
Dave, let me ask you a
Don't
question.
listen. Don't
since
listen,
you've got
Gizmo. It's
there.
okay. It's okay, Gizmo. It's okay.
Dave,
Just ignore
if you
them.
were to pour water on that, are you taking advantage of Gizmo?
If I pour water on Gizmo, I'll be electrocuted.
No, if you pour water on him, do you need to be on some register or something for impregnating a mogwai
What?
against his
I
will?
just cut him on! Shut up! Shut up!
Oh my god.
My wife just turned him on! You little bastard!
Right,
You're
Kat,
staying here now.
so,
go away.
in terms of minion versus gremlins, right? Let's assume that the minions started working for gremlins, and if their weakness is the sunlight and water, there's actually a famous scene in the Minions movie where they started working for Count Dracula, and on his birthday, they had a big cake, and they woke him up and like cleared the window and said "Happy Birthday," and the Dracula died. So they might accidentally kill him, even though they don't intend it.
you know, I can never understand why we haven't got Gremlins 3 yet. Like, that was in the 80s, and it hasn't happened, and yet it seems so marketable. I would like, if I had the power suddenly, and I don't know, is that Warner Brothers? Because didn't they have like Looney Tunes at the beginning of Gremlins 2? So, Jesus, if Warner Brothers own Gremlins, they should take advantage of this. So,
I think
They have-
you're opening the floodgates to the classic horror tropes. You know, you do a sequel, then you do another one which is in like a massive city, then you got one in space, and then you got one in some
Sure.
sort of
What? No,
bizarro world, and
you do
it just
Gremlins 3, and it's like, it wraps up the trilogy or whatever. But how about you say, look, this isn't a reboot, well no, this is an Elseworld story of Gremlins, but it's a straight up horror film. So when they turn into monsters, they're literally monsters. Imagine if they did that as a side story. That would be awesome.
Speaking of monsters, like, have you guys gone and seen Nosferatu yet?
No, I wanted to see
No.
it yesterday. I wasn't able to. Have you seen it, Kat?
I've not yet.
Have you seen the
because-
first 25 minutes of it, somehow?
I've not yet, but like I heard really good things about it. Everyone says like it's really good, and like
Yes.
they actually made vampires scary again.
I plan to see it. It'll be Friday. There's a live Xstreamed Improv show. If you're in London, come and see it at the Camden Comedy Club tomorrow. But otherwise, I'll have to see it Friday now, if I'm able to this week. But yeah, I really want to see that. The trailers looked good, and all of the reviews for it have been really, really strong.
But I hate the fact that like they give Robert Eggers, right? That's the director. So I hate the fact that they gave him Nosferatu instead of Dracula. Because like,
No.
if anyone's gonna be in a good vampire movie, it should be Dracula, folks.
no.
Not
Nosferatu is the original vampire.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
Dracula.
Vampire movie. Nosferatu is the original
But that's
vampire
only because-
movie.
That's only because they didn't get the rights to Dracula. That movie
Yes!
is so old that Dracula was still in copyright, which just sounds crazy. But,
Yes!
So it was.
It's fine. The original is great. The remake is going to be great. Dracula can suck it.
Okay, how many
No!
of you have actually watched the original Nosferatu movie? You have.
I have.
Did you like it?
Yes!
Why?
I like those old sort of movie styles. I like the music. I like the acting. I like
What do you
just
mean
the
like
whole...
the music? It's a silent movie.
The music that goes with it, you
Yeah, but that's a new
nutball.
thing. They don't have the original music that went with it. That's new.
No, poo to you with knobs on.
I don't know. I think there
I like
genuinely is
it.
stuff. I think there genuinely is stuff to like about it. I think it could be edited into a 5-minute montage, and then you'd be like, "That's really good." But it is a chore to watch. Like, because the amount of times I've seen it probably about 20 times. I had to like study it at like college and stuff. It was awful. But I'll tell you what. Speaking of the music, if you watch the original Bela Lugosi Dracula film, I haven't seen it in many years. I only watched it once because there is no music in it, and it was such a chore to get through. And I was like, if you change the soundtrack to this, it's going to be like a great film. But we've lost Dev. He is retreated into the crypt. But yeah, like I do want.
The hot sauce killed him.
Nosferatu. But what I was going to say is, I think there is something sexy about the new film being Nosferatu rather than Dracula. If they did a new Dracula film, even if it was exactly the same as whatever this Nosferatu remake is, I think there is something that just doesn't sound quite as... Because there is mystique to Dracula, but obviously it's been so done. But Nosferatu, I think there was a remake in the 80s, quite possibly in Germany. There was the film Shadow of the Vampire with Willem Dafoe, which we've discussed on the show before. And then there's this. Shadow of the Vampire. Willem Dafoe plays the actor who played Nosferatu. I've said this on the show if you weren't there, Dave. And the idea of Shadow of the Vampire is that the director who hired the actor to play Nosferatu was actually a vampire. It's a great concept for a film. It's better as an idea than the actual thing. So Willem Dafoe, this is the role that got him the role of Green Goblin.
Okay.
He's like, like this. And I think it's Eddie Izzard plays the actor who plays Hutter. And when Nosferatu Max Schreck comes in and they film the first scene afterwards, like Eddie Izzard's character's like, wow, he's like really believable. And John Malkovich plays the director, and he's like Edward Manu or whatever it was, and he's like, yeah, he's really a method actor, so you can, he'll only ever speak to you in his vampire makeup, and that's because he's really a vampire. It's a great concept for a film.
Okay.
I just hate the fact that that elf-eared, bunny-toothed, bald vampire takes to get all the glory, and the most coolest Dracula vampire is still stuck in limbo. Like, come on, guys, the last...
No, mate. Bela Lugosi's dead.
No, do you know though? I tell you what, I think this is a lot more frightening. If you came up against that in real life, that is terrifying.
Actually, if you look at like in the Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, it's basically about vampires, and like the elder vampire, they kind of went with like Nosferatu's design, and the main bad guy was more Dracula design. So yeah, and I get the bald, scary look, but again, like he looks more like an elf turned vampire than like Dracula type of thing.
But that's the thing, mate. We've had vampires that look human. That's what makes them somewhat scary, because they look like everybody else. But then you got a creature that looks like that, and people are still thinking, oh, he's just a regular Joe.
Do you know what, though? It doesn't work out.
He's just going to a Starbucks and you see him there. Mr. Olaf?
I can't find, maybe I shouldn't even try. I can't find what Nosferatu looks like in the new movie. So maybe they've really protected it.
Yeah, I feel like it's really scary, and it's like, again, like we are past the point of making vampires scary. the more of the allure of the vampires are much more greater than them being actually scary.
Yeah.
It's never been like that, I think, like with vampires. But like Dave said, your face, they do it again, Dave, you do it better. So they're guarding that face much better because they know it's gonna creep the heck out of them. Like, imagine a jump scare from that face. You're like, in the closet.
I don't know. Bill Skarsgård did a good job with it.
He's the Nosferatu. He is the one who's playing Nosferatu, and he played the Crow and it fucked. But like in this, he had a revival in the same year, so like his career is like a good mark. I also heard the news. There's like some things going around, but like this was never really sure that Luke Evans want to bring back Dracula Untold and do a sequel with it. And I thought, like, I love that film. Dracula Untold was like really good. It's not a horror film, but like Dracula, the ancient Impaler story was like really fun, kind of like Castlevania a bit. So I really like that one, and I really think if they do bring back the MonsterVerse, except they don't have Tom Cruise in it.
I think they could attempt it again at some point, but I think like announcing the Dark Universe and having Johnny Depp and Russell Crowe and all that sat there, Tom Cruise, they don't need to do something like that. They don't need to.
Just don't say it. Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the same with the DCU. You didn't need James Gunn to sit there and be like, we're going to have Creature Commandos and then the Authority and then Batman, the Boy Wonder of Tomorrow, whatever, Supergirl, Girl of Tomorrow, something. How about that you just do a Superman movie?
Yeah.
And then you do another one. And then you do Batman. Because look at the Avengers. Iron Man was a movie, and they announced that, we're doing an Incredible Hulk film. And then at the end of Iron Man, when Nick Fury turns up, you're like, ooh, he's going to be a character in it. And then when you watch the end of the Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man turns up, you're like, wow, what's happening here? And if at any point it hadn't worked, that you could have been like, oh yeah, do you remember that time that Iron Man had a cameo in Hulk? Yeah, they should have done something with that. But instead you announce these huge things. Just do a really good Dracula movie. Do a really good Look what they did, in fact. I don't really like these films. Look what they did. They did a King Kong film. They did a Godzilla film. And then at the end they were like, ooh, are they going to cross these over? And you just get people's intrigue. Don't announce it, just do it. Cap.
Yeah.
So speaking of like the early 2000s, right, Warner Bros was like clinging because like they were just doing that. Marvel was like rising with their superhero films, but like remember, The Dark Knight, the Nolan movies dominated the box office, and Warner Bros also had the Harry Potter, which we knew that they were doing into a huge, like a sequel of films.
Yeah.
What the heck that happened was when they saw Avengers become so much of a success, they were like, instead, like they already knew how to do it, guys, because like they did it with the Harry Potterverse. They already did like good sequels of movies and brought to a good conclusion. And instead, they're like, we're gonna be Marvel again. That's why I tried. There's a good video that I actually saw, which depicted the reason why they included Cyborg in the Justice League, even though he's more of a Teen Titans character, is mainly because they can have like an Iron Man character in it. Like, what is the like? I get it. You're a business person. Like, but where the fuck have you been? Like, don't you go to movies? Don't you see, like, what works and what doesn't? Oh, that's a robot thing. We make a robot thing, but that's not as cool. What was your thinking behind it?
Yeah, I don't know. So, all of these movie studios, so, like, fans like us, will be like, oh, they should do this, and they never seem to do what's cool. They just look at something else that's worked, and they're like, oh, that worked, we need to do something like that. And they always feel like they're clutching at
Then why are they in the creative industry? Like, I just don't get it.
Money!
Money!
No, I get that, but like, you get like Marvel, right? You had Kevin Feige, who's like, who's gonna be like a little bit like Walt Disney's. Like, I'm gonna like be a hands-on, like a producer thing, and I'm gonna do the best I can to create the best thing. So far, now he has turned a little bit loosely, but like before, when he started it, that was his thing. Why can't Warner Brothers, like now they have James Gunn, but like I'm saying, like why wasn't there like a creative guy going, stop doing that shit, the movie matters first? Why wasn't there a guy in Warner Brothers? Specifically when they were good in the 2000s.
Well, yeah, what happened though, because do you remember when Justice League came out? Obviously, Zack Snyder...
Vividly.
Yeah, but Zack Snyder was filming it. His daughter died. They continued filming it, and then, even though it's not been fully said what happened, they said that actually he's decided that he won't continue filming it, and Joss Whedon, who was doing some rewrites, is going to take over. And then it turned out that that probably wasn't true, and that Snyder was forced out. Whether or not if there was any coup by Joss Whedon, who knows, or whether it was just that they tried to put him in place. But they were like, well, if this film needed this much reshoots and rework, which it clearly did, because we saw the Snyder Cut in the end. Hello, Dev. Dev's back. We saw the Snyder Cut in the end, and it was very, very different to the Justice League. What was said at the time was that they wanted that movie to come out before Christmas, and that's because the executives would get a bonus if it did. So, nothing to do with the creative. They should have delayed it. And after that, there was like 2 or 3 changes in the management at like Warner Brothers. And they were like, oh yeah, the things that were treated... Because like, I forget the guy who played Cyborg's name. Ray something, wasn't it? I can't remember. But anyway, he said that maybe Joss Whedon... I don't want to say... Not that anyone cares about what I'm saying here, but like... I don't know if there was some like accusations about racism or something like this. Gal Gadot, there was some accusations about that whole bit where the Flash falls into her boobs. They had to film it with her stunt double because she said, I ain't doing this. And apparently Joss Whedon was like, if you ain't doing this, you're finished. Even though she had already been in the first Wonder Woman film, right? And so... the guy who played Cyborg in particular was just like, no, I'm not dropping it. You know, you really treated us badly. And obviously Henry Cavill, the mustache, may have literally been a thing. Because they obviously had to spend a shitload of money to do a botch job on that. And so they fell out with everyone. And so when they announced that they are going to do the Snyder Cut, they then said it's going to be on HBO Max. And it's going to be 4 one-hour specials. I think behind the scenes, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Snyder, whoever, they said, we signed up to be in a movie. So if you want to do this 4-part thing to get people to sign up to your streaming service for a month, or for like across 2 months or whatever, you're going to have to pay us for 4 films. And I think the whole thing blew up, and that's why they were like, we're not bringing back Henry Cavill. The Rock then was like, I don't want to fight Shazam. So this was a whole other thing. He was like, I don't want to fight Shazam. And so then they were like, shit, we've got The Rock over here, who's a pain. We've got Henry Cavill over here, who's a pain. The fans are over here saying, continue Snyder, it's a pain. And they were like, burn it all down. So creative, I think, was the very last of their priorities.
But like, speaking of like Snyder, I do, because of the recent video that I saw like Snyder talking about the reason is Snyder wasn't a big fan of superheroes either. Even actually, the reason why he liked Watchmen, because like it's not glorifying superheroes, instead it was like bastardizing them. Because like Watchmen is more of an anti-superhero film than superheroes, like hopeful characters. And he even said this a lot of times, that he likes to break down characters more than build them up. So, again, I like Man of Steel, but I do have to say, why did you get this guy in the first place to do that? If he's like, I'm gonna break down all the characters. I mean, like, even Superman, right? The main problem that Superman had, like, snapping necks and like, but like, it's still forgivable. I think they could have still made him a hopeful guy. But like with Batman, they literally made him go, ah! Like all the way. It's like no redemption for Batman at all. They just made him go.
Yeah, but we never got Batman's story. Like from Batman v Superman, we got Justice League, where Batman just seemed like the utter cuck amongst men, where he had absolutely he had to just sit there and just watch as everyone else saved the world. It's like, this used to be my city, and he just see like Aquaman with his fingers all down it. Right.
No, even that David I would have forgiven, but like again, like he was the Punisher, not Batman. He was basically in that movie going, duh, duh, duh,
if we'd seen how it had paid off with The Batman by Batfleck, right? If we'd seen what he was coming up with, we may have seen that story. We would have found out the backstory to Joker killing Jason Todd and all this other stuff. We didn't get any of Batman's story.
Poor Jason.
Yeah.
Poor Jason.
Jason's ghost is like, oh, Batfleck is my fault now? Jason's ghost is like saying.
Yeah.
But like, again, like I think James Gunn, because the Creature Commandos, I'm not really sure if he's really a good decision. I am really good for the like the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I've seen that, and like even the hard moments in that film is kind of worth it because he does give a good ending and makes us all feel better and warm inside with musical numbers. But like after seeing Creature Commandos, and like, oh fuck, why did I watch this episode? Like it was literally that kind of feeling. I'm really scared for Superman. Like, I'm really scared.
Well, apparently the test screenings haven't been good, if that is true. Apparently people have seen it, and the tone of it, this was a week or two ago, but they said it's like Captain America the First Avenger, which I thought was a good film. And
yeah, that's a good film.
What was the other film it was compared to? Did anyone else see this news?
For which film?
Superman, the new one. They said it was like Captain America, and they gave some other film that it was like, which both of them were films that did alright, but apparently they're going to do some reshoots. It didn't blow audiences away. Yeah. But I would have... Look, just make a Superman film. Then do some storyline where eventually... And I think I've said this before. Maybe I said it to you guys, maybe I said it to someone else. So you've got Matt Reeves, the Batman, and the Penguin, and they worked, right? When you do Superman 2 or Superman Justice League film, and Batman turns up, just have Robert Pattinson walk in, do some Batman stuff, and then just say in an interview, well, when, Robert Pattinson is Warner Brothers Batman. So when you see him with Superman, they interact. When you see him in Batman movies, it's just Batman. Just do that. Simple. Yeah. Dev.
I just looked it up, and it's Captain America and the Mummy.
The Mummy. Oh, Cap, what do you make of that?
Wait, which Mummy?
I'm weirdly happy. Where's Brendan Fraser? I want Brendan. Like, is it the Tom Cruise Mummy or is it Brendan Fraser Mummy?
Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Brendan Fraser.
Oh.
Okay, I'm all in. All chips are down, folks. All chips are down.
Here's the hilarious thing. Brendan Fraser was nearly part of the DCU, but he got cut.
Yeah. In Bangor.
Yeah.
But in any case, like, I'm all in, boys. I'm all in. If it's the Mummy, I'm all in. It's one of my favorite films. It's just the 90s. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, I don't know. Okay, guys. Go on.
The only thing I would suggest is change, which you can, by the way, because they did it with Sonic and so much more. Make the suit cool, guys. I'm telling you, they're really forgetting the rule of cool, because, like, aesthetically, no one had a problem with Man of Steel. No one looked at Man of Steel and that didn't look right.
Yes, no,
really? It just...
No red knickers.
Okay, David. David, the underpants, right? Give him a cool underpants. This is not a cool underpants.
No, they're not cool. I agree. I am glad that Corin Sweat has got underpants on, but let me show you something here. I don't even know what this is. Look here. It's meant to literally just be a pair of briefs. Whereas Corin Sweat, oh my god, that is scary. But Corin Sweat's Superman, you can't really see it here, but they are like shorts. They are shorts, and it's got too much on the leg. Look, there's Brandon Routh. It is literally, it is a pair of underpants. Christopher Reeve, pair of underpants. And then, again, I can't see it here, but I'll bring it up. Because we have seen it.
The David Cornsworth, for some reason, it just doesn't feel as a big of a figure as Superman for some weird reason. Like,
because he's wearing a suit that's too big for him. It's got, like, from the very beginning, every time they showed it, it's just like he hasn't filled it out enough. It's got, like, weird folds and things.
Or just put pads. If he's not that big, just put pads.
Well, look, if that's true, look, you know, he's doing his work.
Yeah, but like, so that's clearly the suit.
But yeah, it's because it's got these weird lines. Like, what is that? It is literally Y pants. It's got like a bit where he can grab his cock out. Like,
That's where he stores his glasses.
yeah, exactly. Makes sense to me.
In his
though.
cock.
Yeah. Like, but like, what are these weird bulges?
But like, I did see.
Cold day on set.
David, maybe you're the one who shared this. Like, I saw like it's Star-Lord suit, but it's Superman, basically.
Wasn't me. That's a good point, though.
It's like it's literally Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord suit. It's just like with Superman logo on.
Okay, let's find that. Star-Lord. Well, let's just look Star-Lord. Wait, what?
There's a comparison, direct comparison to it.
Oh, okay,
Like
hang
Star-
on. Wait. So is it this one? Is it this? Is it this?
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. There's the Batman. So it's got the collar. You're right. I was going to comment on the collar, but the Batman has. If we go on to the Batman has this annoying collar as well.
Yeah, it's like it's wearing a raincoat for some reason.
Well, you don't need a collar. This is what I mean.
It's
This is
year one.
inferior.
It's year one. Give him time.
No. It's
Give him
what?
time. It's year
Okay. Do you
fucking
remember, do
one.
you remember in Captain America: Civil War, where you saw Spider-Man on like a YouTube video and he had a shit
Yeah.
costume, and then
Yes.
Iron Man was like, you know, very.
Damn, you need an upgrade.
You're gonna need a good outfit.
It's year one Batman.
No, he literally says, David. He literally says, you are in desperate need of an upgrade. Like this is what Tony Stark literally says.
Like, I can say 100% genuinely, when you look at the different Spider-Man costumes, it took me literal years to look at, like, from Spider-Man, played by Tobey Maguire. I can't actually find. They've always got their mask off, which is annoying. 3 Spider-Man. Let's just put in 3 Spider-Man. Right, 3. Right, so it should bring them up. And they've always got their damn masks off. But anyway, I'll show you the thing. When I would look at their costumes, when I first saw this one, I was like, how is it different to this one? Because unless you saw it side by side, you were just like, yeah, it's Spider-Man's suit. You're like, oh, well, the eye's a bit bigger. But then you'd see him, and it's like, it's the same costume again. I think it's got some black bits here. But basically, every single time, it was like, it's Spider-Man. Whereas when they've done Batman, it's just like, what is this collar? When they've done Superman, it's like, why has he got these weird lines on him, and he's got, like, weird shorts on? Stop making changes for the sake of it.
And it doesn't
It's
look
year
cool.
one Batman.
It's not year one Superman, because apparently he's in mid-flow here.
Well, okay, my question is, like, did we forget how cool things look? Like, literally, like, the West entirely forgot how to make things cool. Maybe that's the problem. They're like, we'll make it boring. That's their new motto. Like, the 90s was too edgy. We need to be more colourful and boring.
The 90s wasn't edgy. The 90s was George Clooney's Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about 90s Batman. I'm talking like 90s style in general. It's like,
And what's wrong with the 90s style, Cap?
The dark and like kind of dark.
How would you
stuff.
know? You're not even born.
So, like, no, actually,
What is the late
90s? The 90s gave us the Bat Nickels.
Yeah, that's the 2000s, right?
No.
No, that was the
Batman
90s,
Robin
mate.
was 1997.
6.
And then 97, I think, because it was 90.
Okay, I'm talking about Tim Burton's 90s. I'm going back to Tim Burton 90s.
That's 89.
That was
That's
dark.
89.
You can't base fashion designs on the year of films, you idiots.
But look, so did anyone complain about the Christian Bale Batman suit?
No.
And I
Yes,
think
how did he move his
it
neck?
think
No, I
it
did
was
complain.
Bat fleck.
How does he move his neck?
Well, he does.
Lighter armor. It fixed the problem because
Yeah.
Batman could never turn his head without turning his whole body. And with this, he could turn his head so he could fight better. They fixed the problem.
And you know what? And the amazing thing with it, they actually addressed it. Because look, here he was, I think, in the first one, and he can't turn his head. And so when he sat there with Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman was like, "Oh, you want to be able to turn your head?" And Christian Bale was like, "Makes it easier to back up out the drive." That was the perfect way to address it. Perfect.
Yeah.
There's like in that movie scene as well where they ask like if you like make it more maneuverable, then the padding won't be as tough and you get shot even more. They do say that like when they change the suit, there's like they do put good details in it.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
the other thing, right? If you look at the first Batman Begins Batman, that picture that does look silly. That's why it's been named as like that. But the thing is, they never showed him silly in scenes. They always showed him with like really, and I like that. It is silly if you focus on it, but the cinematography made it sure that it turns out to look intimidating and cool. They never really focus on the details. They always Batman shadow striking or fighting. So again, there's a lot of things goes along with the aesthetic. So that's my. I think that even the new Batman film, aesthetic wise, they're really good. My only problem that like, why don't you put Robert Pattinson in huge boots? He's short as the bad guys. Like the bad guys are like taller than him. So that's why I'm saying like put some boots on him, make him look taller at least.
It's year one!
Batman is 6'4". Batman is 6'4". It's okay. Unless it's Batman in diapers, you can't give that excuse to Batman in year one.
Well, I don't think this has got Pattinson on, but this is a really good image. So we can really
like
see
Christian Bale was 6'1".
So if you just see this and then we come across to Pattinson. Where's Pattinson? The Batman. Can't see him again.
Oh no!
Right, but like, what is this weird thing here? Why does it look like
it has his adrenaline and drugs?
It's just weird.
That's
It looks out of place. And look, it looks like he's got things that like pro skaters would wear to protect themselves.
Okay, so I can justify this.
Go on,
Thank you, Dev.
It's year one, and he's like cobbled together.
Thank you!
He's a
Thank
billionaire.
you!
Together.
He's a billionaire. It's not cobbled together.
Guys,
Right, but
David, I have the perfect quote for them. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah, that's a good quote. Okay, what did you think of when Pattinson took the cowl off, and you could see like the black makeup around his eyes? Nice detail.
They stole that from Arrow.
Right,
He stole that from Arrow.
Yeah, no, but Batman always had the black makeup around his eyes, and it was always just like
When?
never addressed. Always. Look, okay, let's bring up the
No.
comparison.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, literally all. Okay, I'll bring up Michael Keaton Batman. Michael.
Yeah.
You did it would be there. He'd take it off, and then it wouldn't be there, right? But
Okay,
Magic.
yeah.
Huh?
So Michael Keaton Batman face.
Reason I remember him in the second film taking off his helmet, but like he didn't have the eyeliner.
Yeah, 'cause I
Exactly.
remember,
This
like-
is what I mean. So look, let's bring this up here, because otherwise there's too much white showing. So you can see.
You had
You
to
know, he
put
has
that
the black
in.
makeup, but then he doesn't here. Whereas Pattinson was the first one where they actually addressed it. Look at that face. Right.
Hang on.
I'll tell you something though. There is something that is so good about this costume. It's so good.
It's sleek.
He looks like
It's
a toy.
Well, that might actually be a toy. It says life-size statue. Of course, it looks like a toy. But I don't know. This what was that? What?
It's the Cape Crusader. What about it?
I don't know.
It's year
Okay,
one.
guys, out of these, and obviously Pattinson is there as well.
Oh, good God.
What do you rank as the best Batman suits?
Ben Affleck's one and also George Clooney one.
Really?
This
Yeah.
one? Wow.
No, not that one.
This one.
No, not that one. The other one, the first one.
Batman.
like,
oh,
yeah.
George Clooney is this one. These two are George Clooney.
Okay. No, then
What
Val
is this
Kilmer.
one?
Val
That's
Kilmer,
his first
Val-
one. That's the first suit that he wears in the film.
But it hasn't got the Batman and Robin logo. Because that's
Yeah.
Batman Forever. That's Batman and Robin. I think that's cool.
I guess that... No, I think that is the same suit.
Okay.
My
It's the
favorite.
same suit from the film, but then he goes into the one with the white on it when he goes and fights Mr. Freeze. That's like in the finale, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
My
point.
my favorite is Batfleck and Val Kilmer one because like the Val Kilmer one looks like year one Batman. He's more slick, but he's still up to date, not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, Dark Knight Rises.
You know, it's so tough. Like, I think these were all really good. I think, you know, I didn't even actually, as like a 10-year-old, I didn't care that it got nipples. I didn't think about it, if I'm honest, right? I thought they were all good. I thought these were all good. I thought that one was a really cool way to it brought in an aspect of, oh, we're going to have grey and stuff like this. It's not just going to be black.
He's like from the literal Arkham games. Like the Ben Affleck is
spikes on the top. But then,
Ben
yeah,
Affleck
Pattinson,
actually,
I think, is the first bad one since like the 1940s.
I posted my favorite Batman suit.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's a really, I approve, Dev. I approve.
Okay. Copy.
Ah! Oh no!
Oh my god.
Kevin Conroy.
Nothing wrong with Kevin Conroy, Cap. He
What
is
does that
Batman.
sound like?
No, that's nothing wrong with him, but like him in a wheelchair, like walking wheelchair, is not good.
He looks
Well,
like
I'll tell you what, Cap. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll go get the world's strongest man, get him to break your spine, and then you go try and walk around absolutely fine. We'll simulate what happened with Bane, and then you tell me how you do after maybe say a month.
Yeah.
I mean, like if it's Tom Hardy Bane, then I'm probably able to walk it off because like he's not actually that big. They just like made him look.
Well, in that universe, it was Clark.
Okay, but doesn't this guy look like he genuinely looks like Lionel Luthor from Smallville?
No,
Yes, he does. John Glover.
Luther is
John
bald. Luther is bald.
No,
people.
Lionel Cap. It's his dad.
Lionel.
I'll show you. Did you not watch Smallville, Cat?
No, not yet.
Oh my
I've
Also,
seen
fun
the
fact-
last.
It's
Fun
not
fact.
the best thing ever, but it's so worth it. I
Also,
love
David, fun fact.
Right,
Lionel
so check
Luthor
this
was
out, check
in-
this out. So look, Kevin Conroy, Lionel Luthor, same dude. Like genuinely,
He has my hair.
he does. You're right.
David, fun fact. He was also in.
Couple Davis Lionel Luthor.
Yeah.
He was also in Batman and Robin.
Oh,
What, the guy who plays Lionel Luthor?
Yes,
Who?
Wow.
he's the guy that makes Bane.
Is he really? That's amazing.
oh,
Look at
oh,
like,
Holy
Google it,
shit!
Google
Yeah!
What's his name?
Jason
What's the
Woodrue.
actor's name?
John Glover.
John Glover. Are you sure?
he's the
Yes.
he's the scientist. He's the scientist that made Bane. Huh.
I don't think he's John Glover.
He is.
What?
John Glover is someone else. That isn't
Batman.
John Wait, oh, okay, there's two John Glovers. Who's this guy? I really recognise this guy. He looks familiar as well. Who is that guy?
Batman and Robin.
'Cause look, it says John Glover there. Do you recognise
Yeah.
this guy? What do I know this guy from?
It says TARDIS on there, so
Is he in
I wouldn't know.
Okay, I'm going to look
Was
and
he?
investigate who that John Glover is. John Glover, IMDb. But okay, so have you seen the movie Scrooge with Bill Murray?
No.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! We're past Christmas now, so don't leave it a year. But watch Scrooge, starring Bill Murray. It's a brilliant. It's set in the 80s. Bill Murray is a TV executive, and all of the Scrooge stuff happens to him. But the guy who played Lionel Luthor plays this sleazy rival TV executive. He's really good. But yeah,
I only just watched Home Alone for the first time on Christmas.
You watched Home Alone for the
Finally.
first time.
Yeah,
Finally, Dave knows Kevin.
I know Steve McAllister.
Wow.
Well, because remember, it was during a quiz that we did on the show, and I had Kevin McAllister at Home Alone. I couldn't think of his name, and I went, are you the kid from Home Alone? You went, what's his name? Steve.
Oh wow. No.
Because I didn't know it was Kevin McAllister.
I still thought you were actually kidding. You were doing it for the joke, and then realized you actually don't know.
No, I didn't know, but now I do know, and it is a really good film.
Okay, so hang on. This is an almighty deep cut, but this guy, Dev, Cap, you wouldn't have seen this surely. Harry Enfield's television program. He met,
Ooh.
like,
I've seen it
Mr.
once.
Chumley
I've seen it
Warner.
once.
I
Remember that?
wouldn't. I wasn't born at
Oh
that
my
point, and
God.
even then,
In terms of like sketch comedy, some of the like second or third series, and perhaps about maybe 2 or 3 series of Harry Enfield and Chums are some of the funniest sketch comedy ever. And then it kind of went downhill. But there's so many really, really funny Harry Enfield and Chums sketches. But anyway, that's another thing. Guys, any other
there, like-
hot takes? Or
Yes.
we move on, Dave.
I want to do it. I want to talk it. But I said I'd talk about this. Doctor Who.
Yes.
What the fuck were they thinking? It was-
Which one, Dave? Which one?
Joy to all of it, but Joy to the World specifically.
Yeah.
That was just a mess of a Christmas special. It had a good, like, Moffat was behind it, and you could tell this was probably one left over from his Matt Smith days. The Time Hotel idea, okay, you've done a hotel before with the God Complex, and, you know, okay, fine. But then you had a paradoxical event where the future Doctor met his past self, which, you know, the universe should have imploded at that point.
I thought they explained that well enough. 'Cause
They
said
didn't.
about go the long way.
Yeah,
As
but
long
that's
as
that.
he- as long
But
as he
it's
went
still a
the long way.
paradox. It's still a paradox.
Did
You
he
can't-
really
you
think
can't-
it caused it to be a paradox?
Yeah, he met his past self. He
But
shouldn't
he's
do.
done
He
that a
shouldn't be
load
able to
of
do
times.
that.
He's done that a load of times.
That's different.
He didn't
The
give him
the
any
scenar-
information. He didn't give him any information.
He did. He said you had to go the long way around. He set him on the path to get to that position.
But he didn't have a choice but to go the long way around.
I digress.
Okay.
I digress.
I take your point, I
The
take
whole
your
the whole thing with Villain Guard as well, bringing them back. You know, so okay, so they're going to be the big bad corporation. They're representing every big bad corporation. Fine, haha. Let's get over with. Why are Daleks not here? That's all I'm asking. Joy as a character, I thought she was the most boring and uninteresting character ever. I was more interested in the woman at the hotel.
Yeah.
Why wasn't she in the story more than Joy was? Because with Joy, because I'm going to spoil it because I don't care. She dies in the end.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any emotional weight towards her because we haven't spent any time with her.
I did. I felt joy.
And yeah, they did touch upon a. I won't go into it too much. They touched on a detail. Okay.
I only have one question because
Go.
there's Joy. Did they pause at the Doctor and said like, did you ever wonder what's this happening inside someone's head? Because Joy is in it.
No, because that would have made it less entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, they.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. It was just. I just felt that this entire story was a complete and utter mess. Of all the, even the ratings have shown now that it just failed. It absolutely failed. People probably had it on in the background anyway because it was at 5 p.m. in UK, so it was in a dead slot anyway.
Yeah.
So you know, people probably had it on in the background, or they were spending time with family and didn't have the TV turned on. People watched Wallace and Gromit more than they watched
That was
Doctor
really
Who.
good. That was really good.
That was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this Joy to the World thing, I give it a 1 out of 5.
I might have given it slightly more than that, but I thought it was a utterly pointless. Again, Moffat. There's a thing. All of the Christmas stories that Moffat was in charge of. Mostly. I won't say that absolutely. They were all just kind of like you could cut them out of the series. They had no long-lasting meaning. But go on, Dave.
Yep.
Okay, so I haven't watched Doctor Who, apart from the anniversary special, since Captain Jack broke the Doctor out of prison. So a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
You've not missed much then, Dev.
In the anniversary, the toy maker says, "I'm not a big bad, but they're coming." Did they ever say who that was?
No, I don't think they.
No, I think it might have been referencing to the pantheon of the pantheon of gods with Sutek and that.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like Sutek's not a god; he's an alien. Period.
Sutek's storyline was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen Doctor Who do, where they were like, "I think this is Susan technology." It's like, why would What? Why would there be left like anagram clues? This was the whole Professor Yana thing, but done a lot worse. Because that was, you are not alone. That meant nothing. That meant nothing. That acronym meant nothing. And they did it again, and suddenly it's like, so maybe this is my daughter that I haven't seen in like 2,000 years or something like this. It's like you have to wait to stumble upon her. That's the best you can do. It's clearly the Rani. This Mrs. Flood is the Rani, clearly.
I will say, touching on that point, you used to go on about Susan. They actually talked on it a little bit in the last series with them going, oh, I don't know if Susan's alive. We don't know if anyone's alive. You're kidding me, right? The Master wiped out all of Gallifrey. If Susan was anywhere, she would have come to find you, considering she was in the fucking Time War. Yeah. She was there. So why would you not go looking for her to see if she survived or not?
How do you know she was there, Dave, without saying
I do know.
Big Finish?
I can say the word Big Finish because it is in Big Finish. So the Eighth Doctor interfered with a time cube going to Susan to enlist her into the Time War, but she enlisted by herself because she felt she had to fight. If the Doctor wasn't going to, then she was going to. But Sutek as well, he came back in Big Finish as well. And he had some great stories. But the problem is that having these big reveals, like Doctor Who's got this problem now where they have to go big at the end. They have to get this big bad from like the classic series to come back and do it. First it was like, oh, we've got to have Daleks in the finale. Now we've got to have the Time Lords come back. Now we've got to have every single villain unite to stop the Doctor. So stop going for big scale. You don't have to go
I agree.
Massive. Drop hints like you've done, but you don't have to go big.
Well, yeah,
and stop crying.
Oh my God! Stop crying. Stop crying. Okay, so I'll touch quickly on going big, and then I'll go on to the crying thing. So, the first Christopher Eccleston episode, which might have just been called Dalek, where there was just one, right? They made that one creature destroy an army. This one formidable Dalek. And then after that, they all just get wiped out so easily when there's legions of spaceships of them. You can make just one thing a massive threat. It's a lot scarier if there is just one. The crying thing. So, the Doctor had to go the long way in the Christmas episode. And then he starts working in this hotel, or living in this hotel, or whatever. And everyone is sad. What? Right.
No, the reason why everyone's crying.
All right. Okay. No. Okay. So that whole thing with the other woman there, and she's just like, oh, well, do you have a boyfriend? It's like she meant to fancy him, because do they not have deeper conversations so that she's in love? She's fallen in love with him.
So was it like do you have a boyfriend? No!
But it's been 6 months, and she's like, oh, so you're going to the boyfriend? We haven't even asked, like, what your living arrangement is. Like, it was ill-advised. It was just, it didn't make sense for her supposedly having this emotional attachment to the Doctor that they haven't even had a basic conversation yet. The whole thing sucked, but...
Well, here's a question for you. How did he get the code?
The code? Or the code?
The code.
Oh no, the code. We
don't know. We don't know how he got it.
I can answer it though, because it's the same problem. The first answer, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, does actually work here for the reason that I've said this with Back to the Future as well. There has to have been, and I said it with Harry Potter with the Time Turner, because we've discussed this on the show before, with the Time Turner in Harry Potter. They show you different perspectives of the same event. You don't ever see a bad version of time. So all this means is that the Doctor went through some tricky way to get the code, met himself and said, it will work out, but now he just knows the code because he found it out at some point because he was able to tell him already.
But we didn't see it!
Yeah, but
we didn't get anything to show that he got the code!
But you can create a closed loop of time so that the original version never needs to happen because you already have the answer. It is that, you are right, that is a paradox. But if you can say that within the Time Hotel you can create a closed loop of time, then they can explain it that way.
But they never show him getting the code. They never show anything he does. trying to get this code.
Is the same as Harry Potter saying, I knew I could say expecto patronum because I saw myself do it last time. There has to be an original version of time where he discovered that he could do it on his own. But once he'd done that, the other version of himself witnessed it and now knew what to do. So it's that principle.
It sucked. End of.
Okay, fair enough. Guys, I'm going to begin to wrap things up here. If there's anything else that you need to release, speak now or forever hold your peace.
No, rage!
Oh.
No.
Oh no, you
Thank you.
Okay, I'm at a rage moment.
Nerd Rage!
I did hear that Microsoft turned down the opportunity to do an episode on Secret Level with Doom, merging Doom and Halo together for one episode, and they turned it down.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
How would they do? How would they go about that now? Because Doom is like demons, isn't it?
Yeah, but like Secret Level was like, we can do it, and apparently Microsoft said no, Jeff Bezos.
I think that's a shame because I think something like the concept of Secret Level, you can just do these one-off stories that are slightly weird, and then it doesn't ever have to mean anything for the rest of the series. You know, I think if there was, like how I said, you could do like a serious Gremlins movie. It's a straight-up horror. I think, you know, you could just do the Doctor Who, Star Trek spin-off just as, hey, this is a special thing, we're going to do it, it doesn't count in either universe, but we're just going to do it for the fun of it. I think there should be room to do something like that. Dave, don't, don't invoke it. Right, anyway, let's begin to wrap things up here. Guys, if you have any geeky recommendations, let it be known. Dev, where can the people find you?
They can find me on TikTok and Twitch on the name FWDAT. And my geeky recommendation is What If Season 3, which is the final season of the show.
Wow, okay, I'm going to have to check it out. I got really bored by Season 2, so I gave up. But if it picks up again, Cat.
You can catch me on Sodis, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And you can go watch Mufasa and Scar do their review on the Mufasa The Lion King movie. It's a sketch review. Go check it out. It's really good. Gives you what you expect from the film with a lot of jokes. My recommendation of the week is going to be an anime called MF Ghost, which is a racing anime. Yeah, MotoGP really stressed me out, guys. I don't know why I'm just like watching racing stuff now. It's a really good anime. It's a racing anime. I really like stuff like that, so it's cool. So check that. There's 2 seasons of that already.
Okie dokie, Dave.
You can find me here on Xstreamed on various shows, and check out my YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming. We have a new series starting up soon with Resident Evil 2. Check out my Twitch channel as well, which is also at Dave MC Gaming. We have a schedule. We're streaming on Friday till Tuesdays at 7 PM UK time, where you can find the links to my Discord server and in my shop, where we have version 2 of my Misty character. Prepare for the awesome Power Eldritch Blast with the version 2 of Misty and Mork on the shop as well. And we have Tutti Frutti Never Dies there as well, which Tutti Fruttis are on Tuesdays. So come and check out the Legend of Tutti Frutti.
Awesome stuff. My name is Dave Pustansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Dave Pustansky, spelled P-U-S-T-A-N-S-K-Y. Check out all things Geek Battle. Check out Geek Battle Gaming. I just did a deep dive into Final Fight for the ZX Spectrum, and it is as terrible as it sounds if you know what the ZX Spectrum is. But with that, my recommendation is, go see Nosferatu. Keep that franchise going so Dracula can never haunt us again. And until next time, stay safe, always stay safe, live long and prosper.